Mastery of Sales classes in session 101. This will be temperature gauging. So oftentimes when I'm on the phone with someone and they're trying to sell me something, or you're at a store and they're trying to sell you something, they have their pitch or they have whatever they're reading off of, and there's no temperature gauge, there's no interaction with the client. And you'll often see that for people selling memberships as well, services, products, whatever it might be, especially when they're doing like presentation mode to a group of people. So what happens is you'll get people in their trance where they're kind of just staring and nodding and smiling and like kind of just agreeing with everything and going along with it. Or if you watch someone like walking through at a, let's say a electronics store where they're looking at TVs and the guy's like, well, this one does this and this one does this and this one does this, and they're just like, oh, okay, without ever temperature gauging, without ever asking them, do you know what those specifics even mean? Like, people will become put into trance and will just follow along a lot of the time, and all of a sudden at the end you have 100 objections, they don't want to buy it, and you're super confused, right? So temperature gauging is great, and you want to do this very often. What's going to happen is every time you are pitching even just a little new piece of your puzzle, you need to break things down into pieces of your puzzle, piece of your pie. So you might have like what the product does, the dimensions, the ideas behind it, what it's capable of doing, where and when you would use it, and each time you're gauging them where they're at. So something like, how does that sound to you? Does that sound good? Yeah. Do you have any questions at this point? I just want to make sure that you're feeling really good at this point and you understand everything that I've been explaining. Those are temperature gauges, and they are opportunities for the other person to kind of snap out of their trance for a second and be like, well, actually, I'm not quite certain about that. I don't know what that means. I don't, all sorts of things. And especially if you're starting to talk about money, you want to make sure that the value meets the money of the service, the product, the membership, whatever it is at that point in time, because the objections can come up right away and you don't have to deal with it at the end of the sale. So if you're selling like things in parts, right? Well, this is $20 and this other thing is $50. This other thing is $100, especially if you're in selling something that has upsells and all those things. You want to break them into pieces. You want to temperature gauge at every single point. If you're on TikTok and you're selling items on TikTok, as you're breaking down the product, you can't really do this on your videos. I'll have other trainings for how to do it on your TikTok videos, but if you're in live sessions, you can temperature gauge your clientele and your guests while you're in the TikTok live. So you're giving your product spiel, and every little different detail, you're gauging them. How does this sound to you guys? Are you excited? Is this something you can see yourself using in your own home? Look at how amazing this is. And then they're like, well, I'm just not quite sure about the manufacturer of that product. I don't know if I can trust that product. And then you can go into, well, actually, they are so-and-so and they've been around for this long and they have 4.5 star ratings on Amazon or whatever it might be. So those are your opportunities to overcome objections before they come up at the end. That way, by the time you hit the end where you're like, and now you just click the buy now button, it's on sale, you're going to get 20% off, this is a rare opportunity. Then they're like, well, I don't have any other questions at this point. I guess I'm just supposed to buy it. It's just the natural progression of things by the end if you're doing it properly. It's called the natural sales process, as long as you're in the flow of it and you're doing it correctly. Of course, there'll be much more of this. Be sure to follow along for more. I'm the Abundance King, here to unlock your skills, talents, and abilities in your mindset so you can finally manifest the lifestyle and wealth that you truly desire. And of course, be sure to inbox me for more if you do want one-on-one sessions. I love you.